Okay, this is your personal video, so you can stop it, fast forward it, rewind it when you're applying your makeup. So I'm so happy you chose Seint. I'm so happy you chose me as your artist. I will be here along your journey. If you ever have questions like, hey, this is happening, how come it's, feeling tacky? I'm here to answer those questions. There's usually a reason why, okay? It's not the makeup. The makeup is perfect. All right, so you already have your compact filled up. I've already given you a video on how to do that. So now this is going to be how to apply it. Now you're going to go in with your first color, which is a corrector. So our highlights are, corrector, brightener, and your main shade. So go ahead and go with your corrector. If you have on your face, you're going to look at your darkest spots. If you have darkness here, on your lids, you might even have darkness through here around your nose. Look at your chin. So even look at your selfie. If you take a picture of yourself in front of a natural lit window, because you don't want any shadowing, that will impact the look of your makeup and your face. Look at your selfie. Go and zoom in and look. Yeah, I have darkness through here. I have redness, purpling. I have aging spots. I have broken capillaries everywhere. Look at those areas, and that's the very first thing you want to cover up, okay? You're going to correct that. This makeup is unique. It's not like your traditional. You can't really, consider like a matching with that. We have to talk different strategy with this makeup because it is so different. Now, with your color corrector, you don't want to apply your main shade that I matched you to first. You're going to look at that corrector and like, oh my goodness, that is some orange. That's going to be too warm on my face. The fact is, these colors are warm. Redness is warm. So we're only addressing those spots. You're not going to apply it everywhere unless you have to apply. If you're all over red, then you're going to want to apply that lightly all over. Okay. So with us mature women, or any mature face, you're going to have to apply a little bit, okay? And I say mature faces because you could be 30 years old and have a mature face, okay? If you have any texture to your face, any redness, pinkness, hyperpigmentation, rosacea, there's so many different skin areas that we need to address with that first color, and you don't want to skip on that because that color, these dark areas of our faces, usually really through here, is going to show through this makeup. All right, so don't skip out on it. Trust the process. Okay, now you can use your finger, your ring finger. It's going to have the least amount of pressure. If you have the detail brush, which I always recommend, so in carts, I always put the detail brush. I always put the application, which is the blush bronzer brush. Always put that in your cart, and then I always put the perfector. So the three tools, just cleaning this off a little bit, the three tools for my clients that I always recommend to make application easy are those three tools right here: perfector, detail, and this brush here called the blush bronzer brush. Say that 3 times. Other brushes I definitely can recommend: the eyebrow brush, the line brush. And as I apply the makeup, if you didn't put that in your cart and you want to put that in later, let me know before you do though, okay? Let me know if you're going to buy more makeup. Please let me know first. I offer a VIP link to all my clients. I do get rewards, free makeup, but I want you to have free makeup. I don't want free makeup. I want you to have it. I want you to enjoy it. That's the whole point why I'm in this business, because I want women to get back to confidence, right? Get back to loving their face again. And having your own shopping link, your own personal shopping link where you can earn free makeup, hey, why not, right? You're going to love it and love that. All right. Now, the corrector. Like I said, apply with that middle finger, and I say, not middle, the ring finger. I say that because it has the least, naturally, it can't press hard against the skin. It's the natural, lightest pressure. And I say that because this is, sensitive area. If you take your detail brush, the small end, the small little fluffy end, you can also apply it very lightly to those areas. So let's go in. I'm going to use my finger tapping in, and there's the color. Okay, that's not a lot. What I don't want you to do is ever swipe into this makeup either with your fingers or with any of your brushes. These tins are small, right? You're going to get it and you're like, wow, that is small. It's because our makeup is highly pigmented. It's going to last 6 months, sometimes 8 months, depending how often you apply your makeup. So don't worry about that. It'll last a long time. Okay, now, if you have purpling around your eyes, go ahead and dab that into that area. Again, very little. Keep patting that in lightly. As you can already see, it's going away. You're always using less with this makeup, always less. And I'm going to go in on the other side. You could tell the difference already. Tapping in to your color corrector. So your color corrector in your color match, you will know it'll say color corrector mango is usually if you were matched to a color corrector. It'll say that. Sometimes I've had to match women to darker colors like papaya. So you may have been matched to that. Okay. So there we go. Very little of that makeup all over. I do have aging spots. So look at your face. You know, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes in a picture where those dark points are to your face, but never neglect those. You always want to use your color corrector, that very first color that we put in your compact, around those areas. Very little, okay? Now, the brush that I recommended to apply your makeup, the blush bronzer brush, use the small end and dab. You're going to see it on your brush. Don't swipe. Please don't swipe into this makeup. That will cause your face to feel cakey, tacky. It's going to crease on you. It's just not going to look good. So just dab into that corrector and hold your brush in the middle. Hold it lightly. That will have control, and then do this motion. This is called buffing. Buff where red. If you don't have redness or any darker colors than your normal skin tone. So if you look at your skin tone and you're like, yep, that's darker, I'm going to need to apply my corrector there. Then do so. My nose is always red, so I'm going to apply that corrector. You're not going to see me go back in and dab again. You can, but go ahead and do it lightly and see the coverage. See the coverage first, and it should cover all of your darkest points. If it is not, reach out to me. We may need to go darker with your corrector, okay? More than likely, this is going to be sufficient for you. Okay, and I'm not going to apply any more to my brush. Only in those areas needed, okay? All right. Now your next shade in your palette will be your main shade. All right. Dab. Same brush. Dab. Your blush bronzer brush. Now, you can either, if you want natural to medium coverage, you could do one dab per side. If you want medium to heavier coverage, you're going to dab all over. Look at your face first to determine whether you want more, and then one more. With this makeup, you know, when I ask about full coverage, natural coverage, this makeup can do all of that. And in fact, even with a natural coverage, it looks like a full coverage because it's covering, we've already addressed those areas, which gives full coverage. Okay, so at this point on, you're not going to do that blending motion, okay? Your color corrector is the only one that you will blend, okay? Only in those spots. The rest of your makeup, so you don't remove it, will be this number. Stippling or pouncing, dabbing, however you want to call it. And start doing that all over. Especially where you have that mango or papaya, your color corrector. Pat all over. I'm going to do one side with just one dab. Yes, this makeup will cover. It has the ability to press into your skin and deposit all over. It's not just a one dab and it's all gone on one area. This is a cream brush and it's perfect. You don't want to use any powder brushes because that will streak your makeup. A cream brush, check out the quality of your cream brush. Use it if you already have a brush and you didn't get this brush. But I'm telling you, these are double-ended quality, and I've had this one forever. You know, as long as I take care of it by cleaning, and I have a video on how to clean your brushes and condition them, they'll last forever. All right, nice coverage on one side. Now I'm going to go on the other side. You can tell the evenness that this is creating. Dab all over. When you're learning, you may go like this, right? You're trying to learn in the mirror. Am I getting everywhere? Just start dabbing everywhere. You don't have to go like in a perfect line. You can dab all over. It will be okay. If it overlaps, it's not going to be less or more because we're going to blend all of this. Okay, go all the way up into your hairline. Now, I'm going to say, sometimes women may not need any color, say for example through here. I may not put any makeup there. That's the beauty of this cream makeup. You can apply it definitely over your corrector and then anywhere else where you need to even out your skin tones, okay? You can apply it all over. I apply all over, but I know you can maybe like, you know what? I'm good on that area. I'm going to skip it. I'm going to go around it. You can do that. Okay, try it out. I like full coverage, which is also a natural coverage because I'm not applying a lot. And you could tell that on my face. And that's it. That's it for your main shade, okay? Feel your face right now. Is it overly tacky and overly sticky? It shouldn't be. There's going to be an element of light. You have makeup on, right? But it's not like, oh my gosh, I feel like I can't move my face. It's disgusting. If you did that, if you feel that way, that means you've applied too much. I want you to go, don't put any more makeup on this brush. I want you to dab one more time all over your face if it feels that way. Okay? And then we're going to go, and I'm going to say, even if you didn't get it, which I'm still going to say this Beauty Perfector is the tool for mature face, for any face, any age, a must-have. Okay, so go all over, feel it again, and we're going to use this perfector here in a minute. Okay, the next shade is your contour. So we call it hack. It's called highlight and contour. The highlight part of it gave that correction in areas, and highlighted, meaning our main foundation, gave that nice natural look. It complemented our skin. So when we're applying traditional makeup, you're kind of just having one, you're trying to hide shadows, right? What Seint does, we want to enhance our beauty by using our natural shadows that go with our face. They're there. Why hide them? They're there to complement us. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to go into your contour. So the detail brush is the best brush. Look how it's made. It's thin. So when I apply it to this cheekbone, there's really no, effort. It's going to do the work for me. I like brushes that do the work for me. Never was a makeup guru, so that helps when you have the tools that will help you. So when you go into your contour, the very edge of that, I'm going to want you to pounce. You could do 2 pounces, but make sure it's even. See how that is? You can see on the camera. Only on one edge. You don't need to put it all over. Only on one edge. And again, what I did was on an angle. You can see that? Pounce. Okay, you can see my makeup needs to be a little melted, and I sent you a video on how to melt your tints. It's amazing. You just keep using this makeup. It doesn't lose the properties. And you'll use it until, oh my goodness, I have one right here. It's just about out. I like took a toothpick trying to get every little bit out. So I will use that. All right, here we go. Now on a contour, no matter what size or shape of your face, what I would want you to do is give lift. Okay, we're not going to bring a contour all the way down to your mouth. It's just going to drag it down. But take your brush and roll it. Well, it kind of gives a drop, right? It's going to hug. It curves under. You can also feel that with your cheek, or with your finger rather. Well, yep, there it is. So that's where your contour will hug under. And we're going to start at the highest point. It's pretty much directionally with your mouth, right through here, right? So it's going to be in line with your face and your shape. It's going to complement. All right, so start at the top of your ear right here, and then you're not going to want to extend, I'm just going to take my eyeshadow brush, beyond that corner of the eye, okay, with the contour. Any further with our faces, it's just going to drag it down. So let's go in and apply that contour. You can go slow, but I don't want you to do is like make a line with it. We already have, especially if you already have your main foundation on here, you don't want to drag it because it's going to drag that makeup with it, okay? So I want you to stamp it or stipple or dab on. So start up here, and it's okay. Look, it just barely touched it, went on. It's okay to go above if you're scared about putting that on above the curvature a little bit. It's fine. Just don't go below the curvature, and I'll let you know what to do if that happens, okay? So here we go. We're going to go underneath. See the angle? I'm going to hug underneath. I can feel it stippling all the way down. This is kind of like a Nike swoop to curve that under, starting here and then under. Now, go back and forth with this. So see how that is? You're always going upward, upward. I'm not moving it around. I'm moving it back and forth, but I'm pouncing it back and forth. And what that's doing is blending. Okay, so say you went too far. Say I went down here, you know, I used the whole thing instead of just that edge. It's like, oh no, I forgot jade. This makeup is blendable, and you can blend it all the way out. It's cream. Okay, so if you did that and you went way too far, that opposite end, just dab into your main shade, just like that. Start underneath it and tap. See how that's disappearing? Tap under it, and it cleans it right up. Even when you're learning, sometimes you may want to do that. Even if you think you get it right, you're like, let me just kind of clean that up a little bit. Start at the ear, the bottom there, and just tap in. Okay, and that cleaned it right up. It's no longer in this area. Anything through here, we do not want contour. It's just going to drag our faces down. Okay, now let's go on to the other side. Same thing. On that edge, pounce in. You can do 2 pounces if you need to. Just make sure it's evenly distributed. If it's a little wonky, that's okay. You just need it across that edge right there. See how that's across the edge? Now, same thing, starting at the top of your ear. Feel for that cheekbone. I have like a lot of meat right there, right? So I have to really feel for it. Or take a brush, roll it. Whoop, yep, it's right there. Okay. You could take this brush, roll it, it starts to dip under, and that's where you would apply it. Now I have applied, I have an index card. I might have an index card somewhere. It's written on, but that's okay. I have, for a tip, felt for that underneath. Take that brush and then start stippling. Remember though, you don't want to go beyond the corner of that eye. Okay, start stippling upward right there. Okay, and then remove it. It's going to give a nice line to that, and you just keep stippling upward. Remember, a little curve here, stopping there. I'm not going to go beyond. Didn't go beyond. Kept that free. And then it's like a pat up movement. Okay. Now this particular color is pretty dark. I didn't match you to a extreme dark color. You can eventually get there when you're like, oh yeah, I can do contour. I feel comfortable, because usually if I were to match you to a dark color, you'd be like, I'm not used to this. Oh, I'm not sure about this. But a lighter color, you'll ease into it, and you should notice it gives some depth and dimension to your face. You're going to wonder, man, why didn't I use this all along? You're going to love it. Okay, so that's the cheek contour. The rule here, remember, don't go beyond the corner of your eye. Start here, starting here, and then working your way down. Okay, and then blending is this way, and then up, never downward with a contour. Okay, there you go. So pretty. And this one's darker than this one, but it's okay. We're going to blend. You don't have to be perfect with your makeup. Now, I do want to, if you have a large forehead like mine, you can go ahead and straight on pounce into that. Okay, I do 1 or 2. Now, the rule here, if your forehead is, you want it narrow, you're going to want to contour through here, right? Where the tips of your, or the peaks of your brow are, contour on the other side of that, okay? If you're a big forehead like I have, the height, you'll want to at least 2 fingers and then apply that contour, okay? If you want, you're okay with a larger forehead and you just want a little shadow, then adjust upward. But I'm going to do that 2 fingers. So what you can do, hold that 2 finger right there, and then pat in upward, up into that hairline. We don't want any contour that's going to hang out and have a white mark through here, or a discoloration, okay? And then at the bottom part of it, line is okay here, not necessarily right there. And you'll just blend down, just smoothing that out. And remember, blending, we're still pouncing. Pounce, still pouncing down. And this is where you can, if you wanted to, make it more narrow, okay? Through here, again, it's 2 fingers above, up into your hairline, and then around. It's just going to apply shadowing to your forehead. Like I said, we have shadows already, so you're just adding more. Now, under your chin area, whether it be jowls, a second chin, or giving a chiseled look to your face, this is where this comes in. Let's go back. Again, I'm going to go on the other side and just tap that in. See how it's nicely on that edge? And I'm going to always start at your ear. Okay, I got earrings on. Right here. It's going to deposit more and darker. So the shadows will always be darker towards your ear. So we're going to start there underneath that jawline. Just go down. Line and over. Okay, it's just going to define it. That's the chiseled look. Now, second skin, you're still going to want to do that, or jowl, just push down to blend, no matter what. Placing it underneath that jawline, not on top of it, but right underneath it, right where it's going to give shadow. Okay, underneath the chin line. I'm going to pounce in again, starting at my ear, and then over, and then down. Right under there. Now, I do have jowls, so I'm going to apply a Y, and then I'm going to color it in. If you have a second chin or that jowl, do the Y. It's going to bring shadowing all the way through here, okay? Don't worry, this will all blend in. All right, now for the nose. You can use your detail brush. You can use your multitasker. Where is it? If you have it. It's thin, nice thin. I use that to line my lips and to apply lipstick. I've applied eyeshadows. Multitasker is the name of it for a reason, okay? It can do multi things. Or you can use your detail, your fingers, okay? Right down your nose. Let's use the detail brush so I can show you that. On a tutorial, I'll probably do the finger method on one of them. All right, so you can get an idea with different methods. Same brush, same edge. Just pounce into that. You can see that. Okay, it's on there. That's probably needed 1 pounce to that. Now on your nose, if you're contouring your nose, it's not mandatory. Go on the bridge, okay? Here we go. Stamp, and then stamp close to it. You don't want to get too far because the whole idea is to slim that nose, okay? And then draw it down lightly just to blend it out some. So it's not a harsh line. See how I'm doing that? Blend, blend, blend. Now you don't want to get your contour over here. If you do, that's fine. We're going to lighten that area up. But what happens if I did that? I want to do that right now to show you. See how it just made it dark, whiter? Made my nose whiter. You don't want to do that. So keep that line. Just stamp, and you're blending that harsh line just a little bit. We have shadows on our noses. I'm going to have to apply brightener for sure on that area. That's it for contouring. Now, the other color is your brightener that I matched you to. This will be applied using the detail brush, the small end, okay? You're going to barely tap into that. So on your picture, I had a darker dot, probably on the ledger for your contour. I'd probably put 2 dots right there. That demonstrated contour. A couple dots on your nose, demonstrated contour. On your forehead, a couple dots that demonstrated contour. But this tutorial explains it more, right? It's hard to determine with dots how to apply it on your face without actually telling you how to apply it on your face. The main shade, it's a little muted in the photo, but basically, unless I had dots everywhere, you're going to apply that everywhere is your main shade, okay? And that's the second one on your diagram. That third one was the contour. So we started off with your corrector, right? That was the very first color. And I think that's like a greenish tint. So I put little dots probably, you know, through here, any dark points, but you'll know your face. Look at your dark points. And then I had little dots for the contour, little dark dots. And then the brightener is the yellow dot. So let's go into that. That small end of your detail brush, just pat in. You don't need a lot. And there's that dot that I had in your photo. From that point, I'm going to want you to tap in a upside down triangle. Just like that. Remember that 2 finger? That's about the size of it. You put your 2 fingers there. Right in here. Right between your eyes. With your brightener. And then whatever's left on here, kind of tap it to the across your brow halfway. Just feathering it just a little bit. So what that did, when you take your fingers to the peak of your eyebrows, that's where the brightness needs to be. It needs to be under the roof. Light inside and then dark on the outside, which you see here. That's if you contoured. If you didn't contour, you still want this brighter than the rest of your face, okay? The triangle of youth, okay, is right here. Here, all the way through here. The center of our faces, ladies, is where we want that youthful look. And then dimension and lift all through the outside. So that's why we apply a brightener. Sometimes why do I need that brightener? You don't need it, but it's sure going to give you that pop and that youthfulness to your face. And if you contour your nose, you're definitely going to need a brightener because that's what finishes it off. So I'm going to use my pinky, just tap right into that. Go straight down your nose. Okay. Probably need to blend that out a little bit. Not too much there. It's okay. Creams are forgiving. It's the best part. And that will slim your nose up. Put a little bit more right there. Okay, pretty easy. Take that same brush, that detail brush. Remember, we applied it right there. Your brightener, tapping in, apply, start at the corner here, right here. Now we're going to work our way down our nose and do a triangle right through here. You don't need to apply any of the brightener on your nostrils because there are pores there. You don't need more makeup or brightener to say, you know, hey, I have pores there. You don't need to apply brightener right here. You may have seen that. Now, if you don't have any crow's feet, man, go ahead and put that dot right there. You know, you've probably seen it. Put a dot right there. And then blend upward. Pat, pat, pat upward. I really didn't want to do that because I do have crow's feet. Okay, so I'm going to pat that out. But what I would do on the, I'll show you on the opposite side. Instead of here, move that dot upward. So right through here, put that dot on the edge of your brow and then move up. Okay, move all in that temple area, that brighter color. And this is going to give a facelift too. Brightness gives that facelift. Okay, it's just going to, right there, lift it up. All right, and that's your brightener color. I didn't put any right there because of the wrinkling. Okay, so let's go in by your nose. Take this color and stamp. Now, I am often asked, right through here, triangle, what if I notice I didn't put enough color? That's fine. If you feel you didn't put enough of your, say your corrector color, go ahead. I usually, one side I'm using the brightener. I'm going to go on the other side. I'm going to barely touch my that mango, that color corrector, and look down. I'm like, yeah, I can see I didn't have a lot through there. Oh man, just a little though. You don't want a lot of makeup through here. Normally I would say wait till the whole thing is done when it's all put together and then course correct. You can do that later. Okay. All right. So that's, I applied that color. I'm going to tap it out because I feel like there's too much. It feels tacky. All right. Back to that brightener. We patted in and we went down our nose and through here. Okay. It's that triangle of light. Down your nose, the side of your nose, where that contour is that we did our nose with, go down and then over. Here's your triangle. Right beneath that trough, that tear trough area right through there. And you can go right on that orbital bone. Okay, we're just bringing the triangle from the wrinkling area right through here down. If you have, you know, a ton of wrinkles through here, I want you to stay in front of that pupil on this side of that pupil, okay? Only through here. Only through here. Okay? Now, our eyelids. We have mango. We have our main shade because we put that on there. Now I'm going to add that brightener also to my eyelids. Whatever's on here, I'm not going to dab into it. And you can go all the way up to your brow. Okay. I feel like I have enough on there. I'm going to go all the way over. You can always apply more, but always go less. These brushes pick up makeup and it will deposit. You might think, I don't have any makeup on there. You do, because when you go clean it, you're going to say, wow, I did have makeup on there. Okay, so that just gave a one color to my eyelids. Now, priming eyelids, I know I mentioned in another video, but the three that I would recommend, and you can get them on Amazon, is Thank Me Later. Elizabeth Arden's I like. It's Advanced Eye Fix Primer. Helps with that crepiness. And then the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, the anti-aging one. This one's a little bit more expensive. Thank Me Later is a good price. Okay? No matter what, you're going to use that before you put on your makeup. Tap very little on your eyelids. Okay. Alrighty. So we've applied the brightener. Now, this is already prepared. I already prepared it before I did my makeup. I hate when I don't prepare my beauty blender, my perfector, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I forgot. Like when I was learning, I'm like, ugh. So all I would do is take a spray bottle of water because it's small. Do I have one here that I can show you? The difference of a prepared one, it's like twice the size, right? You don't want to use a dry perfector on your mature skin. You want this to be not even wet, barely damp, not even damp, but it's like cool to touch. You know it's damp, but it's cool to touch, okay? If you forgot, I've sprayed water. I always keep a little water bottle. You can have a big water bottle, and then I'll roll it. Roll it in a couple times just to air it out a bit, where it's still going to be a little bit cool and a little bit damp, okay? But remember to do this. It's important before you do your makeup. That way the tin that it comes in, you can just set it in, okay? All right, let's begin. Now, what you're going to do with this is pat and rotate. Once it starts to warm up on your face, you can move it around. It's going to stay cool and the area is exposed, but what this will do is remove excess makeup. We don't need a lot of makeup. And you saw me, I didn't even apply a lot of makeup, but guess what? If you did, don't worry, this will take care of it. It's going to diffuse any harsh lines, like around my nose. But go ahead and dab that everywhere. Under your eyes, you can use the point and go under your eyes. So this is going to set our makeup, ensuring there's not excess that's going to settle in the crease, right? Especially under our eye area, our marionette lines, and our frowned area. I don't want a whole lot of makeup in those areas, so I am going to use this perfector. That's why they call it perfector. It, no kidding, perfects your makeup. It's incredible. All right. Always, always, there's a method to the madness, and the madness is that you won't be mad with this makeup. It's going to feel wonderful on your face. And give yourself grace. It's going to take time to learn this makeup. Anything new, it takes time to learn. So, you know, take some time, off time. If you have to go somewhere, like, oh man, I need to use this makeup and I have a very important place to go, you don't do it then. That's not the time to do it. You know, wake up early on a Saturday, early on a Sunday, or in the evening, play around with it, watch this video, rewind it, pause, fast forward. Get to know your face, and you will get to know and you will love it. But there is a learning curve, but it's okay. Have grace with yourself, all right? You will love it. All right. Now, those are all the main shade colors. If you have a lip and cheek, if you don't, that's fine. I'm going to still show you a lip and cheek so you get the idea of what to do here. We do have a new lip liner. It is called, that's not it. It is called Suede. It's very light, so I'm going to take the multitasker brush. I'm going to line my lips with that. All right. Very subtle. Normally what I would do is line my lips with my contour. So whatever contour I matched you to, take that multitasker brush. If you have it, dip it in. If it's something you want to get later, get that later. But don't order. Let me know before you do. And I'm just going to go in that nook right there where it kicks in. I don't need to go all the way over with my Astoria. Is this one, whatever, henna, ash, your contour, whatever your color is that I matched you to. Okay, you can also apply it at the peak. There you go. Okay, there's your contour. If you feel you've gone too far, close your lips. You already have makeup on this brush. Pat over. Okay, pat over. There you go. Now, what I will do is, you can do it with your finger. If you have the vanilla dust, take your powder brush, pat over the top. It's going to prevent bleeding. Or use that detail brush, tap into the vanilla dust, and it's going to prevent bleeding and keep it right in place. All right, the color that I'm going to put on is Madrid. It's a very pretty color. Isn't that pretty? I have a gloss in my palette, Black Cherry. Online, it looks super dark. All our colors look super dark. Even when I match you, I have women say, I went online and that is not my color. Believe me, it's so stinking dark. And even when you get your palette, your makeup, you're gonna like, that's not gonna match my skin. But remember, it's highly pigmented and we only barely tapped into it, right? So it's going to match. All right, so I'm gonna go in with Madrid. I'm gonna use my fingers. Pretty color. This is an everyday color. It is light, but pretty. Now, if you want a color that is more vibrant, let me know that too. Okay, so on your next order, you can order a vibrant, but this color is a natural, everyday look, and yes, it is light, just a little bit. It does have color. You want color to your lips. Okay, that's the whole purpose for a light color, is just to give some type of color. Now, I do have some, if you can see on my finger. So here we go into, we call it lip and cheek. That same color, I have it on my finger. I'm just gonna put it right there above my contour. Okay, so it's all gone. No, it isn't. Here we go. Sorry about that. Now take your blush bronzer brush. Yes, we're using this for lip and cheek. And you don't need to clean your brushes. I mean, every time you use your makeup, every time you go between colors, you do not need that. It's not going to be a muddy mess. It never has. You've seen me apply this makeup. It doesn't do that. Now, you definitely want to clean your brushes every couple weeks. Don't use water on them. It's just going to ruin the base of your brushes. These brushes are any brush. But you do want to disinfect with a brush cleaner, and we have a great one. You can clean it and go right into using it. Okay, now the rule of thumb for your lip, okay, your cheek, where you put that contour, right? We're gonna marry the two right on top of each other with your lip and cheek color, right on top. And what that's going to do is give flesh to your color, and to your skin rather, and dimension. So let's just dab into that. Okay, one dab, and then you can always apply more if you want more depth to that color. Same rule. Remember, on the contour we started up here by the ear and we didn't extend beyond the corner of your eye. So 2 fingers in is usually the rule of thumb. See how it just kind of centers through the eye there? 2 fingers from your nose out. This is your apple. Apples drop. So we're not going to apply it right here. The top of that apple is key, which usually lies right at the corner. So you could do 2 finger and then apply, but what I always do, because it's in the same area, is the corner of my eye. It's just so much easier. So don't go all the way over. It's just going to drag down your face. So start here because we have the most product here. All right, there we go. See how it dabbed the most? Now, remember contour. We moved up. Lip and cheek color, we're going to move down. So when you pat in, you're moving downward. Don't go beyond. Downward. Put your finger right there. Okay? That is a pretty color, Madrid. So pretty. It's going on the other side. Look how it gave that youthful look. Dabbing in. That's why these colors last a long time. We're never swiping. Don't swipe into this makeup. It will not last, and you won't be happy with the results. You're going to feel cakey and tacky. Okay, again, that corner, starting at your ear, right where your contour is, you're going to marry the two. Okay, right on top of that contour, not completely over, but marry the two. Right on top of it. Isn't that pretty? All right. Now, I do have another color in here. I always keep another lip and cheek. How your palette is set up, you'll probably have a space open for another color unless you got 2 colors. Okay. Sometimes women go back into their cart and add colors, and I don't know. All right. black cherry. As you could see on that, it's so pretty. It looks black on the website, but let's put it on. It is a gloss. That is pretty. So you could put Madrid and then black cherry if you need to go in more. And that gave more pigmentation. That's pretty color. So that's a gloss. It's just giving you options here. And then because I have some on my finger, I'm not going to apply the gloss right through here. You can, but right at the base where I had that Madrid stop, I'm just going to put a little bit there and tap in. Right on that Madrid. I want an ombre look. It has that little bit of gloss right there. You can go light to dark, dark to light, all over. Isn't that pretty? And I could apply that gloss. Yes, you can apply that gloss, any of our glosses, on your cheeks. I think it just gives a more glowful look to our faces. All right, I'm going to go on the other side. Bronzer, illuminator, some eyeshadows. Again, your palette probably won't have everything in it, but again, if you have your eyeshadows, keep them on one side, okay? Eyeshadows, and if you have the Vanilla Dust, keep them on one side of your palette, all right? And then, man, you could go to a bigger palette, a palette 18, I'm not sure what that is, which holds more. But this is just an application demonstration. All right, so let's start in with the bronzer. Bronzer gives that sunlit kiss. If you didn't want to put any lip and cheek on your cheeks, you could put the bronzer, and it's so pretty. It is a cream. Remember the smaller end of the blush bronzer brush, it looks like this. We're going to go to the bunny side of it, okay? You're going to swirl it in. You could do one swirl or two swirls. Look at your brush. It should be on there. I always start, if you have a light part of your neck here and your chest is darker than your face, you're going to want to take that and draw it down. It's just going to bring warmth. It's going to bring warmth. It's not going to be all matchy with your chest area, but it's going to mitigate that lightness. Because what happened is your chin area shadowed that, okay? It doesn't get much light. There we go. Again, like that. A couple swirls, and you can do, it's either a backwards E or a 3, okay? Where would the sun hit you? High point here, right? I'm going to put a little bit on my neck because usually that first dab is just like your lip and cheek or contour. It's a lot. All right, so here, circling lightly. I'm like barely touching that on. 3 motion through here. A little bit on my nose. See, the sun hits there. Sun hits there. Through here and then down. Okay. Look at that glow. Again, you want color to your face that's going to be like you just got kissed by the sun, right? It gives life to our mature faces, so don't skip the bronzer. All right, illuminator. Why do we have an illuminator? That gives that luminosity. So we are on the hunt for the Fountain of Youth, ladies. Already, this makeup gives that nice youthful look. Already, look at that. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Illuminator is just going to give that cherry on top. Just use your finger. Tap right there on the tip of your nose. And go a little higher. Okay, just a little bit. Look in the mirror. You're going to see a little glow to your nose. You're going to apply it on your Cupid's bow. See that? And then you can center here. I'm just giving you options where to experiment. Apply here, here, there. Cupid's bow. The protruding part of your jawline, just a little bit. And then in the peak of your brow. And you can do this last after you do your brow so you can see it. Okay, It's the only thing I'm going to have right there because it just gives that lift. That illumination gives lift. All right. The other area that I will put it on is the cheekbone. Remember we talked about the apples and that high apple not going beyond there. Right there in this area is where we want, where the sun would definitely give some light to. So I'm going to go ahead and use my finger. You can use your perfector even. Since we've already perfected our face all over with this brush, you can dab into that, make sure it's on there, and right on that bone, tap that. It's a high point of that orbital bone. Look at that, so pretty. High point of that orbital bone, right in there. I might apply a little bit, but not going into a bunch of my wrinkles right here. Okay, that's it. All right, now, hopefully, I always say, you know, the vanilla dust is a mature face best friend. Typically, do not put vanilla dust in your cart, but if you've watched my tutorials, you'll know it is important. And we do have like the powder brush collection where you save money on getting a collection. That's the best bet for that one. Not only that, it's just easy. Look at the angle of that. It fits right under my eyes perfectly. And that opposite end is where I apply the illuminator right there. Okay. So even if you don't have a vanilla dust, I'm going to show you where to put it. So when you do get it, you can watch this video. Don't swipe into it. Go ahead and press. And then anywhere where you have wrinkling, our makeup doesn't set by itself. Okay. Where I have a lot of movement, here wrinkles, here wrinkles, here marionette lines, smile lines, okay? Where you're moving your face and you have those wrinkles is where you will put your vanilla dust. It's going to have a blurring effect on those wrinkles, and it's going to set that makeup, okay? Even before you put the powder on, what you might want to do, the warmth of your fingers, pat around your eye, okay? Pat around the eye, and then apply your vanilla dust around your eye, okay? The corners all the way up. All right, that will set that makeup and reduce creasing. You know, reduce that creasing look. You're going to have wrinkles. This isn't made to take away wrinkles. You're going to have jowls. It doesn't take away that. Fine lines, all that, it's not going to remove what we are. And you know what? That's okay to have. We're mature women. We have all that. We were just trying to address some distractions, right? That purpling, we don't need that. Hormonal blemishes, rosacea, hyperpigmentation, melasma, aging spots, all of that we want to reduce, which we accomplished. Okay. So that's the vanilla dust when you get that or have that. Okay, like I said, I don't know if you've added it to your cart. I'm just going to go in with some eyeshadows just to show you what that can look like. And I'm going to take our line brush. Our line brush, again, double-ended, the spoolie, and this end is thin and angled. So it's so easy to do an eyebrow. And I am going to use my contour. So you can use your contour for that. Go ahead and try it out. Take that spoolie down. If you have a spoolie already at home, just move it down. If you have a brush that's thin like this, use that. Don't use a thick one. Go behind that brow on the corner or the peak and then down. So what I'm doing, that peak, if you haven't heard, it's called eyebrow mapping. So where your nose protrudes the farthest out, take a brush like this. I mean, I guess if you have, looking at the smallest brush that you will have in your cart, you know, this one's pretty thick, but we can do it. Let's just do that. Take that brush right here alongside your nose. That's where your eyebrow is going to start. Right here. It's not going to start in here or way over here. straight up and down. Move, keep it on your nose to the center, stop. That's where the peak is, okay? Move it down, stop. At the edge of that eye is where that will stop. You can see it a little bit better with a thinner brush. Which, let me see, protruding part of your nose, begin through the center of my eye, high point. Keep it on your nose, going down through the corner is where I have it ended. So you don't want it drooping down. That's going to close off your mature eye. When you're younger, sometimes you do that, but when you mature, you want to pretty much have it go straight, a little more straight out, okay? So I went behind my brow line, keeping it dark, keeping it high. As you can see the difference between the two. Now with this brush, because it's so thin, I'm going to flick my contour in my brow, moving it up. It's going to fill in all the areas I'm missing. Now, if you feel like your contour is too light to do your brow, try it out. If it's too light, I can let me know and I'll recommend another contour or an eyeshadow, okay? If it is too dark, same thing. I will recommend a different color to you. But nonetheless, do your eyebrows. That makes the whole face up one complete package, especially aging eyes, hooded eye, you want to bring lift. Now I do, and you've seen me use it in my videos, I keep it in my compact on a daily, is the eyebrow wax. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. So I've activated it with water. Even if I didn't do my brow and color it in, I'm still going to apply a wax. And it's not a heavy wax, it's a light wax. I'm going to go in, lock that in. I'm holding on, that color is going to be locked in, and so is the shape of my brow. All right, it's manicured. Looks like I went somewhere professional, but I didn't. You did it. You put your makeup on. All right, let's go on the other side, bringing that down. I may have enough Astoria behind here. Usually I like to use henna on my brows. And then down, a little bit of kick. See that little kick right there? I'm not bringing this down through here. And then I might need a little more. Hope this is helping. Again, I'm here for any questions. Just message me. If I don't get back to you right away, I work 10-hour days as a project manager. You know, I'm a retired military member. After 22 years, I had to go back to work. Okay, military don't pay you a lot of retirement. So I had to go back to work. And I retired from the military back in 2008. Did 22 years working. Hopefully have another retirement. But with that said, what I'm trying to say, if I don't get back to you like right away, it's because I am working and I'm not near my phone where I can easily get to it. On my breaks or my lunch break, you know, I'll forego eating to help my clients. Believe me, I'm here for you. I will not eat for you. But no, usually in the evenings, and even after I prepare dinner for my family, get them ready to go, because my husband has to eat dinner, I'll do my texts and emails. So just so you know that, I don't want you to feel, man, Jade, I have the makeup and now I never hear from you. More than likely I am stinking busy, especially a lot of seasonal work I get keeps me busy. There we go. It's going to lock it right in. Literally, it'll lock that brow, that crazy brow. I got to move that over. All right. See how I gave lift to my eyebrow? So don't neglect your eyebrows, ladies. Okay. Now, let's go into some eyeshadows. You've seen me on my tutorials. That's why you're here, right? I always get the business card, or card from a shirt, jeans. You know, it has some stiffness to it. I've even used index cards. Whatever I have, I'll use it. You know what comes in the mail? Those little flyers that have a little bit of stiffness. I've cut them up and used them. So you can do that too. You don't have to go buy a shirt to get your tag. Don't do that. All right, so let's go in. You see the color. I mean, I just want you to look at that. So pretty. you'll have that look too. Don't worry. All right. Take that card to the corner of your eye. If you have a hooded eye, I'm going to want you to apply your eyeshadow above, like look straight on in that brow bone. I can feel that brow bone. Underneath that brow bone or right below it, okay? If you have crease, then apply a mid-tone, a medium shade to your eye, not a light shade and not the darkest shade in there. Okay, you're going to apply the darkest here, a medium here, and then lighter through here. And that's going to give you the most youthful look. If you apply all one matte color, it's just going to make your eyes look much more smaller. It actually will age you. When you're younger, you can use that one tone for sure. Do that. But when you're maturing, you need to have the ability to have your eyes look and appear wide open and youthful. Okay, so I already have my eyeshadows in this palette. I'm just going to use what I have in here, which I'm going to change that out at the last second. I'm going to use this color Rome. It's a light shade of color, and I want to use, let's see, is that kind of dark? Stardust. Has a little shimmer. It's okay, ladies with mature skin. You can do that. Okay, I'm going to take that out and pop it in. And what other color? I have every eyeshadow color, so if you ever need a swatch, hey Jade, can you swatch some colors on your wrist for me? I can do that because the colors are deceiving on the internet. And I want to go in with Drift. I'm going to go in with a light color. Drift is like one of my favorite colors in the light family. Okay, if I can find it. Oh, there it is. It's hidden. Yes, I do have more palettes because I have all the makeup that Seint offers. Have it all. Oh my goodness, I just like literally went into my makeup right here. Oh well, let me get that off. Dig right into it. Okay, see all the lip and cheek colors? Look at that. Oh, this isn't even alive. Okay, I'll get that later. I have a lot of the lip and cheek colors, so if you're wondering, hey Jade, can I swatch? Can you swatch one of whatever color it is? I can swatch that on my hand for you and show it to you. I'll send you a picture real quick. Okay, so let me get to the eyeshadow Drift. Yeah, it's right here. Yes, I have a lot of eyeshadows. I have to. I am an artist. I have to know what's going on. And I'll tell you, even before I was an artist, I was like, oh my goodness, it's like a second leash on life. I was loving eyeshadows again. Okay, so I'm going to go with my tile. We have an eyeshadow tile. I'm just going to clean it off, dust off any remaining shadows. You can also clean this when you clean your brushes, okay? All right, so let me go in first with Rome. So a medium shade, when you get to eyeshadows, you might not be there, you might not even have ordered eyeshadows, but a color that is of medium. See how this is the darkest, then it's a medium, and then that's the lightest, okay? That's what I mean by that. I'm just gonna tap in. That's even a large tap. I'm gonna tap that off. Ooh. Wow, that went on pretty deep. Take that card right here, and hooded eye, I'm going to go above that crease. If you don't have a hooded eye, go in the crease just like this. All the way over. But hooded eye, ladies, even if you look straight on, you're going to go above, like where your lashes are, right above it, okay? And then a 7 down. You can hit this card. It's a 7 all the way over. If you have like wrinkly eyes, mature eyes, you will probably end up patting that over. Okay, because if you move this around, it's going to go right with your skin. And we have way too many wrinkles to do that. Okay, I'm going to go in with the Stardust. It's a darker color on the edge there. And a C or a V. And I'm going to remove that, and it has a line right through there. Move my hair out of the way, right through there. This is a subtle, deep color. If you want a deeper color, let me look at a deeper color for you so you can see it on camera. Let's go in with probably Bubba. Let me open up my palettes. I'm going to go in with, actually, I'm going to go in with the color Philly. Philly's dark. That's dark. All right, let's go in with Philly. Tap. And in that corner only, ladies. I should put my card up, but this is a C. This is what a C looks like. I'm not going to go way out here. And that gives depth. All right, isn't that pretty? I don't know if you can see that on this camera, but it's so pretty. Now, the lightest color, Drift, I'm going to apply with my finger because I want the most pigmented color, right? Tapping it on that lid. Now, you have seen me probably with the eyeshadow brush. I wet it, and I also apply it, meaning I tap. I'm going to get most of that color on there, and then I dab. I don't swipe it in, I dab it in. All that color through that corner and then over. I'm not going to get too high with a light color, and definitely don't go all the way up with a mature eye. It's just going to enhance the maturity of your eye. You may have to stretch those wrinkles, patting in, okay? Flip it over, and a little bit of blending, which is small, light circles, like just like that. All right, so pretty. There you go. Opened up my eye. I'm going to take that darker color and go all the way under. So this is called haloing. And all it's doing is covering up that wrinkle that I have under there. All the way over. It's okay. It's not a deep black color. You can use any of our darker shades and it'll look pretty. Okay? And then I'm going to take a little bit of our Black Friday. Even if you didn't order, I'm going to show all of it. I'm going to dip in. I do have 2 line brushes. One for my eyebrows because it's brown, and then one for my eyeliner because it's black. I can't intermingle. If I had black eyebrows, I could use one, but I don't, so I have to have 2. All right, I'm gonna move with my finger, my pinky, gently. I'm gonna go in close, right in that lash line. Dab, 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 dab in that corner. Dab, dab, dab in that corner, okay? And all that did was give dimension to this eye. We want from the center here, the deep color, and remember from here over, the lightest shades. Now on the waterline of my eye right here, it's also going to provide definition right in there. See how it provides more definition? If you have thin eyelashes, I do. Here's an option. Taking that same brush in, not on your eyelids, lady. Don't apply a dark color on the eyelid. Go inside that lash. Okay, right in there, and it'll appear to have a thicker eyelash and give more dimension also. Okay, and then you can apply whatever favorite eyeshadow you have, or excuse me, I keep saying my names wrong. Mascara. This one is Thrive. I will leave my Amazon beauty finds that I like, and this is one of them on there. I also have other eye mascara on my Amazon finds that I've also used, and the price points differ. This one I love because it has the fibers. It's like an extension, and it's built in, and it doesn't like leave a messy mess on my washcloths. Okay, so a mascara, always start on your bottom ones and then your top ones. The reason being, if you start on your top first and you go down to use your bottom, it's going to leave mascara everywhere. So start at the base of your lash, down below, and work your way up in a zigzag motion and blink. Blink, 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 and then blink, blink, blink. Don't forget the mascara. It really does open up our eyes. with a mascara, the more layers you put on, the more thickness you'll have. Look at that eye and that eye. It is just a huge difference. Okay, so I'm going to finish up this eye real quick. Okay, again, looking right at, here's my lashes, right above it. Okay, put that card above the crease is a good gauge, straight over, hit that card and then down. It just makes it easier. If you didn't have that card, you didn't want to use a card, you can obviously just go in and then down. If you go too far over, like, oh, whoa, I put too much over, take your detail brush, you probably already have product on there, and just clean it up just like that. Okay, go ahead and take that darker color. It's a C right through there, C or a V, always on that outer edge. Don't take it all the way over, ladies. Your eyes will look more hooded if you have a hooded eye and more aged, but it's always on the outside corner right through here. I won't do it with my card, right in there. Okay, flip it over, taking that dark shade all the way across, and hide that crease. I need to pat under my eyes. Now, if you have eyeshadow fallout, what do? I've been asked that question too. So again, that same brush, you probably already have makeup on there. Gently just tap it through to get rid of any fallout. Okay, patting it in or patting it out. All you're doing is sweeping any fallout. Okay, all right. Now let's go back to that lighter color. On the one side, I have the dark color I put underneath my eye, and then on the opposite side, I'm going to have my brighter color, which is Drift on this case. Okay, I'm always just patting in and stretch those wrinkles out, looking down and pat. See how much pigmentation that is? It is a shimmer, a little bit of shimmer, but don't be scared of that. You can have that shimmer on that eye. Only though on the eyelid, okay? Nowhere else. It will make your wrinkles enhance, but on the lids, it actually brightens your eyes and makes your eyes look younger. Okay, and also dab right there. There you go. Don't bring it all the way under or around. If you have an older eye, a younger eye, you can bring that all the way over. We just have way too much texturing for a brighter color under here. Okay, now for the, I'm trying to think where I left off, black eyeliner. Okay, dab into that again. Concentrating in that lash. And then dab, dab, dab that corner. Now I can go a little bit upward. I can't really do with a wrinkly eye over here up, but I can do a reversed wing, which means just from this end, I'm going up, just like that. And it does give appearance of lift, okay? And then in the waterline right through here, you can do that too. Again, take that small end. I'm going to clean it because I do have eyeshadows on there with my tile brush, or eyeshadow tile. I'm just going to soften that up just a little bit. Okay, now, in fact, I'll just do that now. A couple sprays, dab on my hand, and then lightly feather all over, under my eyes, around my nose, down my neck. Okay, that's going to set my makeup. If you spray on your face, I want you to go all the way down. It's designed to like one spray, like all over. I actually sprayed too low. It should go everywhere. Spray all over your face and that will set. Now you can spray on your finger Just a little bit. There might be some on there. And not a lot, ladies. Tap. You don't want it wet underneath your eye. Tap, tap, tap underneath your eye on that setting spray. We're going to leave a little bit more. Okay, just a little bit more under our eyes. And if you have marionette lines. Okay, and that's it. All right. I hope that demonstration, your personal demonstration, helps you apply this makeup. It gives you the opportunity to pause, rewind, fast forward when you're done, and then, you know, don't ever have to watch it again. If you don't want to, just watch my lives, because I do repeat myself in my lives and try to teach too. But hopefully you gained a little bit more on this one, and just the ability to watch it over again and again and again and again. All right, look it closely. So pretty. Very pretty. All right. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you very much for letting me be your artist. It is a privilege. Okay, bye-bye. Take care.